Just take a closer look at this design. It is a very simple design, as you can see, but if you look at it closely, you're going to realize that there is no outer stitches on it at all. It's all invisible. So I'll take you guys through the process of doing this step by step, and this is the result we are going to be having. You can see it's similar, like almost 100% similar to what you just saw on the intro right now. So this is the results you guys are going to be having. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Before we get into the video, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight into the tutorial. So welcome back. Here is my main bodice. I already cut out my main bodice, as you guys can see. So this is the wrong side. As always, make sure you're working on the wrong side of your fabric if you're doing such a design. So the very first thing you're going to do now is to determine the width, like how wide do you want the space of your design to be. On this one is going to be a total of, I'll be marking 1 inch at this side, 1 inch at this side. However, the total package is going to be more than 1 inch. It's going to be like a one quarter of an inch, right? So here I'll be marking 1 inch. I want you guys to pay good attention to this process. I mark out 1 inch at the side, and don't forget we are cutting double. So if I'm marking 1 inch at this side, I'm cutting 2 inches if I will be cutting it out. So I want you guys to pay attention to that so you can see what we'll be having. So the total is going to be 2.5 after cutting a quarter of an inch plus that 1 inch we cut. So just pay attention, you're going to understand. So at this down part also, I'm going to mark 1 inch. You can see that I'll mark 1 inch. So now for the height, how long do you want the design to be? On this one, we'll be working with 6 inches in total. You can see that. Depending if you want it longer than that, you can make it longer, but we'll be working with 6 inches in total. So I'll be marking 6 inches at that place, as you can see. So we have 1 inch here, we have 6 inches here. So at this place, I want you guys to pay attention here, because the down part, I'll be marking quarter of an inch at the back of that 1 inch. Let me use a deeper color chalk so that you guys can understand what I'm trying to do. Let me just change my chalk. Okay, this is not that obvious, so I will have to change the chalk because you guys can see it clearly. Let me just get another chalk. Mainly because the down part has to be 1 inch, right? While the up part has to be one quarter, so that the down part will be narrow and the upper part is going to be wider. That's the main reason for that. So here I'm going to connect that place also. Just take a straight line at that place. I believe you guys can see it clearer now with the deeper color chalk. You can see that. So here, from that down part, I'll be taking 3/4 of an inch. It's not up to 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch. I'll mark 3/4 of an inch at that place right there. You can see that, and I will simply connect it together at this place from that edge right here to the 3/4 of an inch. I'll connect it together. So far, if you're enjoying the video and you're yet to smash the like button, make sure you smash on the like button. So I will just simply cut it out. You can see that I'll cut exactly that shape right there. I'll simply cut it out. So just make sure you're cutting it and it's very sharp. That's very important. So after cutting it out, this is what the neck is going to look like. So let me open this up and show you guys what we'll be having in the front. You can see what we are having so far in the front. You can see what it looks like. And you can see that the down part is narrow while the upper part is wider. That's why we make that upper part 1/4 of an inch, right? If you want it wider than that, you can go for that. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to put in an interfacing on that edge. That place in which we cut out, we are going to interface the edge. The interfacing doesn't have to be more than like half of an inch. More than half of an inch or 1 inch maximum. So I'll just put an interfacing all around that edge. So I'll be using the interfacing will not be more than 1 inch. Depending, you can make it more than that, or you can just make it 1 inch. So I just add an interfacing right here. You can see that. You can see at that side, you can see what it's going to look like. So I will simply cut out the interfacing, and also this side, also the other side, you're going to add an interfacing to that side as well. So I will just cut the interfacing out. You can see that. After cutting the interfacing, just trim out the excess at the edge. You can see that. And I'll be placing another interfacing on the other side as well. So I'm just going to do that. You can see that. So make sure you iron it and it is very balanced. After you're done with that, simply open it up. This is what you're going to have. You can see that. And I'll just have to trim out the interfacing at the edge of those, at the edge of the fabric. This one is also longer, so I'll just trim it out. You can see that. So I'll trim out the excess at this place also, so that I'll be having a smooth edge to work with. So you can see that. Just trim out all those excess at the edge. You can see. So after that, just iron that place. Just have a smooth edge that you'll be working with. So at the back part, so I want you guys to pay attention here. So at this place, this way we're going to be chalking our fold allowance, which is going to be 1/4 inch. So I want you guys to pay attention here. So each of those sides, I'll be marking 1/4 inch at each of the sides. You can see that. I believe that, let me use this yellow chalk so that it will be clearer. You can see that because I'm working on black. So here also 1/4 inch, you can see 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, you can see that. You can see 1/4 inch all around. So you're just going to mark 1/4 inch all around the edge, so you'll be able to simply connect them together. Make sure all those quarters are straight, because whatsoever you chalk here and whatsoever you mark at this edge right here will reflect in the front after, during the folding aspect, or after the folding, it will reflect in the front. So make sure what you're doing is very, very straight. So you're going to connect that place as well. You can see you're going to simply connect that place also. You can see that, connect it. And at this edge as well, you're going to connect it together. You can see that. Connect it. You can see what I'm having so far. So after that, the next thing we're going to do now is to make a notch on all those corners. All the corners, we're having 3 corners so far now, so you're going to be making a notch. Let me zoom in closer so you can see it. You can see that. That corner, you simply make a notch at that place. You can see that. This place also, you make a notch. You can see just exactly there, you make a notch. And this one also, simply make a notch at the corner. At those angles, yes. After making a notch, we simply fold this backward exactly on that chalk in which we mark. Exactly on that chalk, that's where you're going to be folding your fabric over. You can see. And I will simply iron it down to just hold it down. You see. So basically ironing it is going to like glue to the border straight up. You can see what we're having so far. You can see how smooth that edge is. And this place also, I'll be using the same thing. Just fold it backward and simply iron it down. The fabric I'm using is actually, so most time is to just like relax during the ironing. I would not even need to use the plank to hold it down, to just relax. You can see that, and I can even use the plank to hold it either way, just to have a smooth and sharp edge. When you take a closer look at the front, you can see what you're having, how sharp those edges are. You can see. So I'll simply turn this also to the back. Just this place, you have to be very careful doing it, because you have to make sure you are not leaving any space behind the mark. You understand? So you're going to iron it down. You see that? And this is the last part. Just simply give it a thorough ironing. You can see that. Give it a good ironing. Make sure it's balanced. So far, this is what we are going to be having. You can see how sharp all the edges are. That is the most important part. So if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to smash the like button. And if you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel also. So all we have to do now is to cut our inner. So this is what I will be using for the placket itself. It's a line, it's a suit lining. I've used this in one of our previous video before, but on this one we'll be adding an interfacing to it. So if you take a closer look at this, if I put it underneath, you can see that it's giving us the vibe in which we actually want. And I once heard someone says, if you add an interfacing to a lining, it becomes a fabric. So basically we are going to be doing that in this video. So right here, what will be outside is going to be a total of 1.5. So what I will be cutting on the interfacing is going to be 2 inches, 2 inches. That will be the wideness of the, the wideness of the placket itself that will be cutting on the line is going to be 2 inches, right? 2 inches. But it's going to be 2.5 inches after the cutting because of the inseam allowance, which is the sewing allowance under the placket. So this is after the fold. You can see here. So we will be having 2.5 inches. You guys can see that. So that after the stitching is going to be underneath the fabric, and we can simply weave it all round. Weave it all round, and the outer part is going to be 1.5 inches. You guys can see that. Just pay attention to the process. You're going to have a good understanding of that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is on the interfacing itself. I'm going to be adding a fuse on it in order to make it a little bit stronger. You can see how soft it is. So in order to make it a fabric and make it stronger, I'll add an interfacing to it. So this is what we're going to have on the interfacing. You can see that it's now looking stronger and sharper, right? So now the next thing, I cut a long for the I cut a long fabric for the interfacing. So in order to get the accurate measurement, it has to be longer than the neck circumference, right? So we'll be cutting a total of 8.5 inches on the fabric itself, or 9 inches maximum, just in case. So here, just fold it together, iron it, and we'll be cutting out the 2 pieces. So this is the 2 pieces, and I already give it a good ironing. You can see how sharp it is. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you smash the like button. So the next thing we are going to do now is to simply place it this way. You can see, and make sure you are having your 1.5 inches at this place. This place is very important because it has to be straight. And this place also, make sure one of the placket is overlapping one another. You can see what we're having. You can see that part. Make sure one is overlapping the other. You can see the edge, so make sure those sides are balanced. You can see what we are having. So the next thing we're going to do now, let me just measure the edge for you guys so that you can understand what we're having. Okay, here, what we'll be doing now is to be cutting our hemming gum. We'll be using our hemming gum to hold it down. So I want you guys to pay attention at this place also. So I'm just going to cut this out. So just cut your hemming gum into 2 places. You can see. And you'll be placing it under the fabric itself. Make sure it is straight. Just place it like that. You can see what I'm doing. And simply cut out the under part. So after that, all you have to do is just to iron it down. I want you to take a closer look at this very well. It's very important. Just iron it down. And when I lift it up, you can see it will simply hold down the placket itself. You can see that. You can see what we're having. You can see that it's holding down the placket. So you're going to do the same thing on all around the plackets. You're going to do it all round. So just place your hemming gum underneath this place also. You can see we're having 1.5 at this side, and here it has to be 1.5. It has to be similar measurement. It mustn't be more than one another. You You can see that. Just lift it up and simply place your hemming gum under it. You can see that. And here also, simply push the hemming gum under it. Make sure it's relaxed very well. You can see what we are having. Make sure it's balanced and simply iron it down also. Iron it down and make sure it's relaxed. And when I lift it up, you can see what I'm having. It will be holding down the main fabric itself. So at these edges, which is the down part also, you're going to cut the same size of the hemming gum. You're going to put it at each side. Just use something to just push it underneath. You can see what I'm doing. Just take your time to make sure it's aligned very well. I want to do this plus so that you guys are going to see it clearly and there won't be magic in doing this or how it happens. You can see. Just push it inside. You can see. Just push it in. Make sure the fabric, the hemming gum is not outside. It's not like coming outside. And simply iron it down. You can see that. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. You can see how smooth and how sharp the edges are looking. That is the most important part. It has to look like we just use a gum. There's no stitches there. So you guys should pay attention because we're still going to stitch it, but you have to understand the fundamental first. So here, just push the hemming gum inside and also iron it down. You can see that. You can see that. So after ironing it, so when we turn it to the back, this is what the back is going to look like. So all you have to do now is very simple. Just open it from the main fabric itself in which we fold previously. This is not glued that much. You see that white part? That white part, right? You're going to simply open it up. That is the most important part. Simply open it up. So I'm going to glue this back so that you can understand. I'm going to iron it from behind. So here, let me take this closer to the camera so that you can understand. So from this side, you can see I will simply open it all up. You can see that. You can see the way I'm opening it. You can see that. So on that yellow marking which we marked previously, that's where you're going to stitch all around. You're going to stitch all those places. So I will take you to the sewing machine now and just stitch it around and show you guys what the result will be. So this is what we're going to be having. You can see this. You can see the stitches all the way around. I stitch it all around from underneath. You can see that. But when you turn it to the front, there is no stitches in the front. As simple as that. So all you have to do now is just to give it a good ironing. Make sure it is balanced and make sure it is smooth. So I'm going to give it a good ironing both from behind and in the front and show you what the result is going to look like. So you can see this. This is what we are going to be having. So just iron it very well and make sure it is slick. So if you like the video so far, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are yet to subscribe. So this is the result of what we are going to be having. You can see that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to curve out my neck. So make sure the shoulder line is aligned together. It's important. And I will just, you can see, make sure it's aligned. And I will simply cut out the neckline. You can see that. So far, this is what we are going to be having. This is the result. So all you have to do now is just to simply join your shoulder to your back. I like join the shoulder, both the back and the front together, and simply pipe your neck in order to get exactly the same result we're having. So that's about it on this video. If you enjoyed the video so far, as I've said, make sure you smash the like button. It is very, very important. And make sure you subscribe if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. There are videos on the screen right now in case you want to see more of the video we've done on the channel. There are video on the screen. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check more of our channel and click on either of the video you're seeing right there on the screen, either one here or the one at the side. Just click on it and watch it. I'll see you on my next video. Peace, and do have a lovely day.